Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. BALDANZI, BLITZ for BALDANZI. Thiago Pinto has went to Milan this morning to accelerate this deal and potentially close it. I was surprised when I read this because I don't know how we can complete this deal looking at the financial state that we're in. But apparently this deal is accelerating and it could actually come to an end before the transfer market ends. I also want to give updates on Angelino. Important updates there. Agreement found with Leipzig, but in order for us to complete the deal, something needs to happen. So we'll get into that as well. And also, my dear friends, today I decided to return being a kid. This is what you call, as Mourinho once said, football heritage. I've got some packets over there, and we're gonna open the first two packets of this beauty together. I want to establish this new tradition. Every time we go live, we open two packets together with the aim of completing this album at the end of the season. I'll explain the history behind this because the history behind this is fascinating. It's incredible. It's incredible. Don't get me too excited, but this is something else. We'll do this at the end. We'll speak about Roma first because Roma deserves to be spoken about first. Right. I want to start with Baldanzi because yesterday we spoke about Baldanzi, but we spoke about Baldanzi being what if? A what if statement. We left the Baldanzi arguments and topics yesterday with it being very impossible, kind of hard to complete. And apparently something has happened over the course of yesterday night that made Thiago Pinto really accelerate on this deal. To the extent that Thiago Pinto has flown to London this morning to kind of prepare a blitz to sign Baldanzi and give De Rossi, a very talented player, the type of signing that Roma needs to start completing in the long term and in the future. I would absolutely love him. Again, I don't want to set my expectations too high because I still am a bit doubtful for this. I'm still a bit doubtful for this because I just don't know how. I just don't know how Empoli would open up for a loan here. Not because Empoli are a massive power and it's impossible to negotiate with them, but why would Empoli, who is fighting to not get relegated, let one of their best players on loan leave? It just doesn't make sense if you're Empoli. So I am still quite doubtful for this. I'm like, surely this can't happen. I mean, surely Empoli aren't this dumb to let Baldanzi go on loan. Surely they will need him. I am a bit doubtful, I ain't gonna lie. I'm still a bit skeptical about this because I do still think this deal is a complicated deal to bring forward. But what is important, and the reality is that Pinto's trying very hard, and that there has been an acceleration and a blitz, and that in the near future an agreement with Empoli could be found. Speaking about Baldanzi, we spoke about Baldanzi in the past. I remember this. I remember it because I always shared great words. I always have great, I always thought he was a very great player. With the characteristics that Roma needs and also the profile of a player that Roma needs. We need to start looking at the future. We need to start looking at these young profiles which we would benefit from in the long term. I've said this already and I'm going to say it one last time. I am fed up of being the dustbin of every team in every transfer session. I want to have my good successful transfers as well. And as much as, Lukaku's been great, Dybala's been great, Baldanzi, if it happens, is great. The rest of the deals are all opportunistic deals that we would have avoided. Looking at the injury-prone players, looking at the poor quality players, overall, the majority of the players, from Celik to Christensen, to Viña, to Shomurodov, to Renato Sanchez, to Aouar, all of these are scraps. All of these are players that we don't need, and that if we want to rebuild, we'll have to start clearing the team by selling these players. And if they don't perform well with us, then who is going to buy them? And that's the very complicated question. So we need to change the philosophy of our transfer hunts. In terms of characteristics of Baldanzi, he's very similar to Dybala. Again, please, let's not be fools to even start comparing Baldanzi and Dybala. Let's just not do it, because comparing a 2003 with somebody who 5 years ago was probably top 10 players in the world, Paulo Dybala, let's not do it. That's what kids do. And to be fair, we're responsible enough not to compare Baldanzi and Dybala. But in terms of characteristics, he's similar to Dybala. You know, he plays in that position. He adds that creative layer to this team. What is good about this is it would not completely cancel the question mark of Dybala, because again, he's young. Moving from Empoli to Roma means increasing the pressure, increasing the responsibilities, increasing the difficulties. Rome isn't an easy location for players. This is something which I like emphasizing, because a lot of these players come to Rome and Roma fans aren't patient. So Roma fans won't give them time, and then they'll fall down in confidence and won't play well. Baldanzi, if he comes, will need time. Just like any other player, he will need time. He's young, and it's going to take time for him to orientate himself in such a difficult atmosphere. But in the long term, with Dybala being injury prone as he is, and with Dybala having a massive question mark regarding his future, will he stay? Will I stay or will I go? That's Dybala. That's the Dybala situation. Will you stay or will you go? Were you here just because of Mourinho, or are you more loyal? Is Dybala willing to stay here even if we don't get top four? These are all questions which, realistically speaking, I don't even know Dybala knows himself. He just wants to wait and see what the outcome of the season is. But let's say Dybala leaves, we need to replace him. And Baldanzi could be a good layer in the long term. Again, I still think that to replace somebody of Dybala's caliber and what he brings to this team, you would need somebody who's ready. Kind of like somebody like Gudmundsson. I've mentioned him already. I would love Gudmundsson. I've got him in my fantasy, and he's literally saving my fantasy. He's scoring every time. But Baldanzi is that long-term operation that you need to kind of set the standards and open up a new philosophy of football. Again, I want to wait. Di Marzio normally has his transfer market show at 11 p.m. Italian time, so I'm very curious to see if there are any updates that Di Marzio is going to release tonight regarding this trip to London from Pinto to accelerate. Basically, what Pinto's working on. Pinto already has an agreement with Baldanzi himself. Baldanzi has Dybala as a big idol. So for Baldanzi moving to a team who's got his idol in it, meaning training with Dybala day in and day out, learning from Dybala, that for Baldanzi is a massive yes. Baldanzi, his agents in Roma have found an agreement. The agreement now needs to be found with Empoli. Pinto's working on a loan with obligation to buy at around 15 million. It won't be a permanent move because Empoli are asking around 15 million to sell him, and it won't happen right now. This deal could be unlocked if we insert some young players in. I know that Empoli are interested in Pagano. Empoli are also interested in Belotti, but Belotti has got high wages, so I don't know if Empoli can manage it. But by the way, if you ask me, would I swap Belotti for Baldanzi? Yes, it's a yes from me. It's a yes from me 100%. I'm going to explain to you why it's a yes if this deal does actually happen. Otherwise, there's no need for me to answer this. But yeah, Pinto's working on a loan with obligation. It's a situation we're in, lads. It looks ridiculous to go to Empoli and ask for a player on loan, but it really is the situation we're in. So yeah. I do want to say something about Angelino, and then I do want to say something in general about this end of this transfer session. So, updates on Angelino. This has been reported yesterday evening by Di Marzio. Roma have found an agreement with him, as we reported yesterday, and Roma have also found an agreement with Leipzig. So, Roma have got Angelino blocked in their hands. The only thing that needs to happen in order for us to complete the Angelino deal is somebody needs to leave. Even on loan, it's fine. But somebody needs to leave to empty the slot and put Angelino in. So the second somebody leaves, if it's a permanent or loan, I don't care. Angelino will come in and he will be signed. Celik has got offers from Galatasaray. Kumbulla, apparently Roma are opening up for a loan. Genoa and Torino are both interested. So something could happen in these last days, and Angelino could officially sign for us. So yeah, overall, I do want to say something. The one thing that I want to say, which is interesting, is I don't think it's a coincidence, right? But I have asked myself a few questions. Why is it that when Mourinho was our manager a few weeks ago, last week, because he got sacked 1 week ago, yeah, feels like ages since Mourinho got sacked. Why is it that when Mourinho was the manager, we did nothing in the transfer window? I don't get this. Why is it that now that we've changed manager, we're suddenly all back going in the transfer window? BLITZ for Baldanzi, Angelino secured. And again, the reason for this, number one, is that the transfer strategy has changed. Because if before Mourinho was asking for a centre-back and a left-back, maybe Roma was finding, more difficulties in signing a centre-back that Mourinho would have liked. I don't know. That's my intuition. Now that the transfer strategy has changed, why is it that we're way more active in the transfer window? I don't want to say that this is done on purpose, but it suggests to me, and it's something that it could be a valid option, but the only reason I have behind this is that the Fredkins knew that they were going to sack Mourinho a long time ago. Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that, Mourinho was trying his best to ask the ownership to buy him players, but they weren't doing anything. And now that Mourinho's gone, we're suddenly all back active in the transfer window. This suggests to me that the Fredkins came up with the sacking decision, and they knew that they were going to sack him after that Milan game. So buying players for Mourinho was virtually not going to work out because they knew that he was gonna get sacked. And then the other thing, which is even more interesting, is this doesn't feel like kind of the current state of a general director who's leaving in about 1 week. If a general director is leaving in about 1 week, in that less than a week, that's the case with Pinto, then why is he all of a sudden this active in the transfer window? Is it because he wants to leave on a good note? Is it because he wants to leave a good message to Roma fans and Roma themselves? Maybe. He wants to, leave his legacy behind. But what if in this Baldanzi deal and in this Angelino deal, we have the footsteps of our future general director, in a sense that he still hasn't been announced, but he, alongside with Pinto bureaucratically, because he's still our general director, is foreshadowing these moves. That could be an option, because Baldanzi with 5 days to go until the transfer window ends, and Angelino with 5 days to go until the transfer window ends, and overall with 1 week to go until Thiago Pinto's contract gets resolved. These don't seem like operations that a general director who's set to go in a week would do. So my opinion here is that the Fredkins have already chosen the new general director. They just haven't announced him publicly, and that this general director is already leaving his footsteps behind these signings, and is working behind the scenes with Pinto legally, because Pinto is until the 3rd of February our general director. That again, especially this Baldanzi deal. Pinto's always been a fan of Baldanzi, but this type of signing, it's not a type of signing that Pinto has ever done in 3 years. Buying a young player, trying to anticipate the competition of our other competitors. It's something that Pinto's never done in 3 years. And it's something which suggests to me that is going to be your future philosophy, pointing and gambling on young players. So maybe there could be in Italian we say impronta, the kind of the footmark of our new general director behind this. I'm not sure. This is just my intuition. But I'm very interested to see what people think. Can Angelino be added to the UEFA list? I believe he can. He can, and that's exactly why we still haven't signed him. Because we want somebody to leave. We want somebody to leave from the UEFA list to basically be his replacement. In terms of the players who are consuming a lot of the money, what is very important is to understand both Renato Sanchez and Belotti, which are two players which are on the transfer list and could be sold. These two players are heavy consumers of this FFP settlement agreement. These are two players that are consuming a lot of slots because of the money and the salary and the weird stuff that this FFP does. So if we released Renato Sanchez and potentially Belotti, then we would free up quite a lot of money. People are asking Vigna. Problem with Vigna is, obviously we get the money, but the problem with Vigna is very simple. Vigna was not on the UEFA list. And this settlement agreement it's not stopping us from buying players, but it's just stopping us from adding other players, new players on the UEFA list. Vigna was never in our UEFA list this season. So even if we sold Vigna, it means that no slot has been emptied. So that's why we're not using Vigna's profit to buy somebody, because Vigna leaving isn't going to free up a space in the UEFA list 2023-2024, and thus it doesn't resolve anything in terms of the complications with FFP. Right, enough with the homework tonight. It's time for entertainment now. Lads and lasses, this is the moment I've been waiting. In fact, let me read a few comments and then we'll go. I will never forget Calciatori Prime 2015-2016. Bro, I can barely understand Italian. What did you say when you were laughing on your other channel? I assume it's us begging Empoli for Baldanzi. Exactly, bro. By the way, yes, if there are any Italian speakers, se sei italiano, caro amico mio, subscribe to my second channel. I want to start bringing some Italian content. I meet people at the stadium who stop me and go, why do you film videos in English? I get messages on Instagram going, are you Italian, are you English? I am Italian. I just want to bring Roma content to an international fan base, but I can also do it in Italian. So if you're Italian, if you want to learn Italian, if you're interested in the Italian language, then I am starting to film some content on my second channel, all on Italian, just like this, but in Italian. So yeah, subscribe to that and make sure to go watch the Baldanzi video in Italian. So, entertainment. This is what I call tradition. I finished school today and I was like, let me buy this. I just want to get the memories of me as a kid. I used to do this every single year when I was a kid. The memories, the smell, it's basically an album. This is something that if you complete and if you sell in 50 years time, you could become a millionaire. These things are worth so much. I've completed so many in the past. I just need to find them. They're in my basement. Yeah, it's just, look, it's incredible. The memories. You know, I used to finish school and my grandfather used to surprise me while picking me up from school with 2 or 3 packets of figurines. And it was literally like gold for us. You know, the competition with friends. This is what you call tradition. Look at that. You've got all the teams. You've got Atalanta here, Napoli, and you got to basically be lucky, find the pages. Let's go to Roma. Let's find Roma. Salernitana. Where's Roma? There we go. That's the Roma page. And then you also have the Serie B. Don't forget about the Serie B. You also have the Serie B. You've got managers. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Aim is the objective is to complete it at the end of the season. So yeah, they obviously, when you buy a new one, they give you a few free cards. There you have it. Fratesi is the first one, and oh god, Rovella's the second one. I think it's time to get the 2 daily packets and open them. Let's go get them. 1 and 2. Let's do this. Right, first packet after I don't know how much time. Oh, the sound. Right. First card. Cremonese. That's a Serie B card. I'll obviously stick them as soon as I end the live stream, otherwise we'll be here for ages. Sampdoria. Nah, not a very lucky packet so far. We're getting Serie B teams after Serie B teams. Here we have Serie C, I believe that is. Well, even this, I don't want the Serie C. Right, what do we have next? This is a weird one. Right, there we go, Serie A. Burabia from Frosinone. Mazzocchi from Salernitana. This is wrong. I mean, he went to Napoli, so yeah. Mazzocchi. We've got the squad. Oh, I get this. This is the female squads. You also have the female squads here. And then you've got this. Right, not a very good successful packet. Ain't gonna lie, it was a pretty shit one. Let's open the second one. 2 packets every live stream. That's the motto. And by August, we'll have this completed. That's the goal. That's the goal, ladies and gentlemen. That is the goal. Right, what do we have here? We've got Como, Serie B. Como, beware. They're a very rich side. And they could pop up in a few years. Oh my god, all of these Serie B ones. I don't want these. I care about the big teams. Neuen Perez from Udinese. This guy just went to Napoli. Right now. Fabrizio Romano just tweeted it. And then what do we have? Bari. Makumbu from Cagliari. And Toloi from Atalanta. Where is it? Let it focus. There it is. Right, you know what? It's the first evening, so we'll open one more. We will open one more, but that's it. Then I'll open one more. And then we'll stick to 2. We'll stick to 2 every live stream. But it's the first one, so let me open another one. Come on, let's do this. Right, Parma. This is a nice one. It's a rare card, I think. Almqvist from Lecce, but it's a shiny card, so I think it's a rare one. We've got another Serie B team here. Then what do we have? Oh, look at that. It's Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Ooh, that's a good one. You know it's a good story when you get Kvaratskhelia. Vieteska. Never heard of this guy. Apparently plays for Cagliari. Ismaili from Empoli. And Pongracic from Lecce. Right, apart from Kvara, pretty shit packets, but yeah, we've got Kvara, so evening has been completed. No Roma players, unfortunately. So we'll see if we get any Roma players tomorrow. I'm gonna go stick these. I'm gonna go study a bit more for my driving license. I'm gonna get my driving license in a bit, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. And I'm gonna catch you soon. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Thoughts on the Baldanzi? Maybe it could get unlocked. Please, let's pray. Angelino, and predictions on who the next packets are going to be. Don't forget to hit the like. Please do. It takes 2 seconds and it supports this channel, video and community a lot. If you're Italian or interested in Italian, subscribe to my second channel for daily, weekly Roma videos in Italian. And yeah, good night. Forza Roma sempre. And let's go stick. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Simo out.